But Jonny, you know what time it is. You won.
So talk. Are you gonna start the clock on me?
It's time to talk that talk. I'm gonna give it to you right now. Seconds. Let me get it over to you so the people only see your pretty face.
Okay, thank you.
Tell them what they got to hear.
Are you gonna give me a countdown?
On 3, 2, 1.
So I'm driving the other day, folks, and I hear I got my Apple Music Your Station playing, and it'll play through songs it knows I like, and then throw in some stuff it thinks I like. This group comes on, this band called the Highwaymen. Now, I feel like a moron for never having heard of the Highwaymen. I don't know if you people have. This is what this is, okay? Listen. It's Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, and Waylon Jennings all made a group together. I never had heard of this. And the song Highwayman comes on by them, so it's their self-titled song. This is truly one of the best songs I've ever heard. I've been diving into this group's discography. They've only made 3 albums, and it's amazing. If you like old school country music, you gotta check this shit out if you haven't done it before. I'd never heard of it, and I feel like a music moron for not knowing about this. This shit is crazy, okay? You need to look at this shit, okay? Highwaymen, check out the first one, Highwayman. The second one is American Remains. 2 songs. Check it out.
Bro, that was mad random. You started I did not see that going there, but check it out. Highwaymen. Only thing I could think of when you said Highwaymen, I thought and the men down under.
Oh no, that's the Men at Work. And I do like that song a lot. I do really love that song.
Dude, that song's a vibe. I'll put that on repeat sometimes when I'm working. Welcome to another episode of Couch Coach, the podcast featuring an all-star staff of the best to never do it. Without a couch, you're just a coach. Without a coach, it's just a couch. With both, you're one of us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you got some shit to say, leave a comment. And now for your first Couch Coach, we have the one and only Mr. 500, Mr. Bountiful Harvest. Rumor has it he doesn't live in a gated community, but his community does have a gate. He's a man of many names, but you can call him Jonny.
What's going on, people? I'm really sad right now. I'm watching the Knicks get beat, but that's okay. Because 27 years ago in one day, the world was gifted Coogii, and we have to appreciate that. So happy belated, my friend.
Preach. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. And right on cue, for your last Couch Coach, we have yours truly, founder of Omnipresence Productions, co-founder of the Couch Coach Pod. Some call me Akira, some call me Commissioner, some now call me Unk, but you can call me Coogii. Jonny, now we got to start off before we get into 4th and goal. First of all, don't ever call me Unk. I'm not at that age yet. I'm big bro to some of you out there.
If you're Unk, then I'm Unk. I mean,
nah, you got a little bit to go.
Born the same year.
But listen, Jonny, your last show, the last episode inspired me, and today I'm gonna become a doctor.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna become an MD.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I don't know why I'm not the spokesman for Dr. Pepper. I just say it's the one soda that if you made me pick a soda, I'm picking Dr. Pepper.
You know, there's like hints of rose.
Hints of rose?
Hints of rose. I mean, I taste a little bit. I can't even describe it, but listen, Jonny. What makes you like this so much?
I don't know. I think it's like
why out of all the different kinds that are out there, there's so many kinds. What is it about Dr. Pepper, John?
I think it's just like a little bit of a smoother Coke. It's like a smoother, a little bit sweeter Coke. It's like I've heard people say that Dr. Pepper is effectively Coke and root beer mixed together. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that before, and I could understand that.
Like Coke and root beer?
Yeah, like that's what I've heard people say, that's what effectively Dr. Pepper is.
Nah,
you get a very similar taste if you mix together Coke and root beer.
that makes sense because that second note I was getting, I was gonna say dirt, but dirt doesn't sound too appealing. But the roots are from the dirt.
Rose? Are you just eating a flower?
It was rose and root.
Like rose
it was
and
rose
dirt.
and root. no, but like the good kind of dirt, you know, not like
the good kind. Yeah,
but the roots come from the dirt, so it makes sense. But
Your second Dr. Pepper?
But are you messing with the cream soda or the regular?
Oh, just to go regular, I guess.
You just go regular? You're a regular kind of dude?
Yeah, I like the classic. I did one time have it was something like Dr. Pepper's strawberry cream.
Strawberry
and it
cream?
mixed,
Okay.
I think was the flavor. It was something like that. And it mixed very well with coconut rum as a mixer. And I thought it like went together very well. So for you folks at home, you got a bottle of Malibu and you want to find something good to mix it with, Dr. Pepper, cherry or strawberry cream, I think is what it was. It was cherry cream. It was something like that. Like
I mean,
red fruit cream.
The way you make drinks, there was probably barely any soda in it.
Yeah, normally I'm an efficiency guy. I don't want to drink too many. I don't want to drink a bunch of liquid, you know.
My man said to make you a drink, and I almost died.
Yeah. Oh man, I was a wild boy in like high school. I was nuts how I would make drinks. I would tell people that I was giving them dirty Sprite and it was just grape soda and like halfway full of vodka. And I just give them that. I remember I do that.
It's like, man, might as well hand me the bottle. Just hand me the bottle.
Psychotic. I don't even drink like that anymore. That's the funniest part. I don't really drink liquor at all, really. Very seldom.
Just the wine?
Just wine and beer at this point. Very seldom do I drink liquor. And I don't really like... I mean, you've seen me on the podcast drink Modelo.
Yep.
Maybe I've had wine on it once before, but I don't drink very often. Normally, it's just... I don't really purchase alcohol unless I'm out. So... Very, very rarely do I even have any in the house, but I think that's better, you know.
Shit,
it's a good practice
economy?
in this economy, but also for your mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah, that way. But check this out, Johnny. Tonight, we're starting with my favorite segment, 4th and Goal, a winner takes all trivia showdown where 2 couch coaches enter. And 1 is crowned victorious. And this time I'm going to win because you're not going to hit me with some whack-ass jazz questions.
I already told you, it's all Puka.
It's all Puka. All Puka today. Flip that coin, Johnny. I don't got one on me right now.
Oh, me flip?
Flip that coin.
Shit. All right, I'm going to get a new coin, okay?
All right.
Hold on.
Run and grab that coin.
Hold on.
I'm calling tails.
Okay. All right. Okay, I got this one's sick. For the people at home, I haven't even taken it out of the case before, but this one is a Knights Templar coin. I don't know if that's coming through at all, but very cool.
Is that
Knights
worth
Templar
something?
Coin, huh?
Is that worth something? No.
If it is, it wasn't told to me. It was just gifted to me by someone.
Bro, you got to put it on the market.
But it's a nice heavy coin. Let's see if it'll come through better without the case on it. Here. Let's see if I can.
Which one is tails?
We'll say this is heads. This is tails. Okay.
All right, bet.
This is what we're going to do. All right. He's calling tails. We're going to go. I'm going to put this down, okay, so I can catch it. All right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, it's
That's
tails, baby. And that might be the first time you've ever caught it.
Well, because most of the time I've been doing it with my mic in my hand.
Oh, have you really?
So, yeah, every time.
Damn,
that's why I haven't caught it, is I've been doing it with the mic in my hand, so I'm trying to, like, catch it and then do this. Like, I'm catching with one hand, and then, yeah, it's been a whole thing.
Damn, that takes
I normally
skill.
catch it, but then I put it here, and then it slides off. But we're good now.
You know what
Knights
I want to
Templar
do?
coin.
You know what I want to do, Johnny? I want to kick the question. I'm I'm gonna defer.
All right.
Defer. So question number one, Johnny. Question number one.
Oh, for the folks at home, this is an NBA themed one. General NBA.
General
Trivia.
NBA. Yeah.
Salute him. But
Salute
yes.
him.
General NBA.
General NBA. Which NBA team has the most 60-plus win seasons in NBA history?
That's a good question. Most 60-plus win seasons. Well, you got to think it. You want to say Lakers. That's like my first thought is Lakers. But then I'm like, how many 60 win seasons have they really had? Like was it? I don't think it was a 60 game season or an 80 game season yet. An 82 game season when Magic was playing. It might have been, but I don't think so. And then, so then you're like jumping over to like Shaq and Kobe. Like I know they had a couple, but then beyond that, like I don't think Kobe ever had one solo. I think he was like a high 50s guy. And then the Warriors have had a handful. I feel like it could quietly be the Jazz. I'm gonna go the Jazz.
You think it could quietly be the Jazz?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your answer?
Yes, I'm going Jazz.
Well, you quietly could be wrong. It is the Boston Celtics.
Oh, really? I thought I was just thinking
didn't even pop in your head at all.
No, it did, and I like threw it out because I was like, I don't want to give it to the Celtics because I was like, so much of their success is so far back that I was like, maybe they like between Bird and their next championship,
right,
is such a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't know if there was like really an opportunity. So I don't know, like, or not next championship, but the next like really dominant run. So,
but they didn't have to win though. They don't have to win it all to get 60.
Right, I know. Yeah, I was just thinking like Jazz, where I'm like, I've seen them do it a couple of times, and I figured they probably did it a handful with Stockton and Malone.
It might have helped you if it might have helped if I gave you this number. They have 14 of them.
Yeah, that might have. That probably would have thrown me off of it. 14's a lot. That's crazy.
It is, isn't it? That's like, damn.
Yeah, that would have made me probably stick with just the blue chip franchises. That's fair. Okay.
All right. Hit me with it.
All right. We're going to stick with the same theme right now. Celtics. Yep. Game 1.
All right.
2008 Finals.
Yep.
Paul Pierce has to leave the game in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Why?
He had to take a shit.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That wasn't what I wrote down. I just wrote poop. We're going to give it to you. He already had taken a shit a little bit, is the thing. He pooped his pants on the court. Whether he admits it or not, that's what happened. So we're giving it to you.
All right.
That was an easy one to get us started. Common NBA knowledge.
Yeah. I thought you might have been trying to trick me for a second, but I was like, nah, he would know I know this.
No, I mean, he claims the team line is that it was an MCL sprain, but we're not giving him that. We're not giving him that, yeah. And I wouldn't have given you MCL sprain. I would have said, what are you, fucking Bill Simmons? You're some kind of Boston Celtics homer?
I'm pretty sure he's admitted to it on interviews after.
He's said both. He has admitted to it and then not admitted to it. He has said that it was for poop, and then he said that it's not for poop. And that he just was goofing around when he said that. So we'll never know for sure, but I know in my heart it was poop.
Hey, the only answer
Much
that matters
like Lamar
is the one
Jackson,
in your heart.
it was poop.
Lamar Jackson, he did that?
Oh,
he left. He left. Yeah.
He left the game randomly, and everyone thought he was injured, and he just had to take a shit.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't in his pants, though.
Right, no, he did not in his pants.
Come on now. Don't put that on his name. Question number 2, Johnny. Question number 2. Which NBA team drafted Dirk Nowitzki?
Oh, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I don't like this. That's so dumb. I'm mad. I don't like this question. I don't know. I guess we'll just go Dallas, but I think I have to be wrong. That's way too fucking easy of a question. I have to be wrong. But let's go Dallas Mavericks. Final answer.
Dallas Mavericks final answer?
Yeah, let's do it. I can't imagine who it really was, so.
Yeah, I don't know how common knowledge this is. I'm sure it is for people that were around back then, old enough to remember. It's Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, that would not even have been close to my guess, so.
The 2 best players in Dallas Mavericks history were traded to him on draft night.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here's an interesting one. Who was the first overall pick in the most recent NBA draft? Last year's NBA draft, this most recent one. Who was the first overall pick?
Oh, it's so crazy because I know the second overall pick. It's Alex Sarr.
Yeah, but who's the first? Because you know why I'm asking this is because I was out the other day. I was like walking around running errands, and I'm sitting there like going, who was the first overall pick? And I couldn't remember. I was like, what the fuck? Who was that? I'm trying to like put myself in my, I watched the draft. Who the fuck was the first overall pick? And I could not remember for the life of me. And it took me forever to remember who it was.
If you just look at headlines, you'd think it was Bronny.
Yeah. No, it's just, it was such a poverty draft that like you have to think about.
He's on the Hawks. I forget his name.
Yes, he's on the Hawks.
He's a foreign player, so it's some crazy ass name.
Yeah.
You couldn't have said second overall pick. God damn it.
No, I said first because I think it's so funny how crazy it is that we're like, we can't just instantly say it because he's just.
You said first overall pick, and as soon as you said that, I was literally like, ooh, I'm about to breeze through this. And then you said last year. I said, oh.
Last year? Yeah, the most recent one. The one that should be the freshest in your memory. Who is the first overall pick? It's so funny.
I mean, I want to guess, but it's kind of fruitless because I don't even know what it starts with. Bronny James, final answer.
Correct. No, okay. It was Zachary Rizachet, French player to the Hawks. Zachary Rizachet. Isn't that some shit?
I was never going to get that one.
Yeah, crazy, right? You're like, who the fuck was drafted first overall last year? That's so funny.
And honestly,
yeah, I had to ask.
If you asked me that again in 5 minutes, I probably still couldn't tell you.
Zachary Rizachet.
Question number 3, Johnny. What year did the NBA adopt the 3-point line? And now I'll give you because I know seasons are split across years. I'll give you either one. If you can name, because you know how it'll go like 06, 07, 08, 09. If that was the year, I'll give you 08 and 09. Now, obviously, that's not the year, but.
I really don't know this off the dome. It's got to be in the 70s. It's got to be like 72. I'm going to go 72. That sounds fun.
1972, final answer?
Yeah, let's do it.
I should have gave you 8 years. It was 1979-1980 season.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's not in my dome. Not in my lexicon. How am I supposed to know that?
Hit me with it.
All right, we're ready. Who's the abortionist?
What?
Who is the abortionist? Who's the NBA player who got nicknamed the abortionist?
Are you being serious?
This happened. Yeah, this happened. Do you remember recently NBA Twitter went around and they called, Cade Cunningham was the paradox,
Well, it's
and
not Jalen Green,
Jason
'cause
Tatum was the anomaly, the abortionist.
So someone that has a lot of kids or gets a lot of girls pregnant. It's Jalen Green, I would think, but like he'd be having the kids, so he's not that.
You have to think. You have to think about this. This ain't
Magic Johnson.
Final answer.
Wait. Well, I know he had a lot of, You know what I'm saying? He was putting that work in. Every city he went to. I'm trying to see. So there's got to be someone that still plays.
Yes. Somebody who plays currently. I'll give you that. The abortionist.
I'm gonna have to go with Kawhi Leonard. I mean, it seems like secretly he could be,
aborting.
That's why he's so quiet. He doesn't want to make any baby mamas mad.
Kawhi Leonard is not the abortionist. That would be one Anthony Edwards, the abortionist.
Oh, wait.
Do you remember when the text leaked of him texting the girl?
Yes.
Who he texted her, LOL, get the abortion.
Okay.
The abortionist.
Damn, he slipped my mind. I forgot. He is a wild dude.
It's not a real. Dude. I mean, that's an NBA Twitter question, but I had to throw it in there because I thought it was funny.
0-7. I still got that lead. Question number 4, Johnny. Mm-hmm. Which country outside of the U.S. has produced the most NBA players?
All players?
Actually, the country is the same for today actively and all time.
Huh. All right. I gotta be Canada. Go Canada, final answer.
I couldn't even keep it. Yeah, Canada, final answer.
All right, thank you.
I was waiting for some wild country to come out of here.
I almost overthought it. I almost was like, well, Spain has the best secondary league in the world, and France has a lot of players all time. And I was like, no. I bet it hit me instantly. I was like, fucking Canada, obviously. France when you said has the most right now, it clicked in my head.
Yeah. No, France is second.
Okay, that's nice. France is second.
Yeah, Canada. All right. Canada has 24 right now. France has 14.
Okay, not too bad. Okay, next one. Let's go. Here's some NBA history for you.
All right.
In the 1984 draft, who were the 2 players drafted before Michael Jordan?
There was only one player drafted before him. It was Hakeem Olajuwon.
No, there were 2. There was 2. Hakeem is one of them. I will give you that. Hakeem was the first overall pick in that draft. There was another guy taken the pick before MJ. What is his name? 1984.
David Robinson.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Incorrect. That would be one Sam Bowie. Ooh. Who, due to a complete derailment of his career from injuries, is considered one of the biggest busts in NBA history. Not to mention he was followed by who many consider to be the GOAT. Yeah, Sam Bowie. Pretty crazy to the Trailblazers. Pretty nuts.
I would
Sam Bowie.
Would have never guessed.
He's a 7-1. David Bowie, you're thinking?
Oh. David Bowie. Yep.
David Bowie. Yeah. All right. Tied up.
Question number 5. Greg Pop has the most career wins for an NBA coach with 1,388 career wins. Who is second place all time with 1,335 career wins? And I'll give you
longevity.
I'll give you a hint. He coached for the Bucks, the Warriors, the Knicks, and the Mavericks.
Bucks, Warriors, Knicks, Mavericks. Huh. It's a tough one. Bucks, Warriors. It's not. No, it can't be. No. I thought for a second, I thought better of it. Man, how does that not come to me immediately? Bucks, Warriors, Knicks, Mavericks. Just trying to go through who I think it could possibly be. This is like an old school coach, must be, right?
He had some time in the 2000s early. He had some time in the 90s and 80s.
Okay. Man. That's crazy. I have no idea. I feel like this is a name that's like in my head somewhere, but it's not coming to me.
You talked about him before, briefly.
We have.
From time to time.
Every
now and then.
We've talked about him before briefly. Oh, man. Second all time? Who, God, I'm like, fully. Did he come up in our, like, most ejections talk?
Oof, I don't remember 100%. I can't confirm or deny the answer to that question. But he has come up.
He's come up. Why would he have come up? I mean, it's obviously not Phil Jackson. It's obviously not.
How do you know it's not Phil Jackson? I said
he
coached those teams. I didn't say only coached those teams.
Yeah, but Jackson didn't coach for the Knicks or the Bucks. He did run the Knicks into the ground for a few years as the general manager, or the president of basketball operations. But God, what's the dude's name? Is it what, Don Nelson? Is that it? Final answer?
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
No, final answer.
Final answer?
Yeah.
It's Don Nelson.
Let's go.
And see,
Don Nelson.
This is where deferring it backfires, because it's nice to know what you got to hit to win, but it sucks to know you got to hit it to tie.
All right. I will give you a.
Nah, don't do what
I'll
you
give
got to
you
do.
one that's.
Do what you got to do.
Okay, I got a funny one.
All right.
Here's a funny one. You should know the answer to this.
I should.
There are two famous incidents involving the Chicago Bulls having one player punch another player in the face. Who are the four players involved? So two for each incident. Who are the two players in each incident where a Chicago Bull punched another one in the face?
You're a scumbag.
You should know this. I didn't even look this up. I just knew this. This like popped in my head. No, this is a funny one.
I know Steve Kerr is one of them.
Yeah, Steve Kerr got punched in the face by who? Who punched Steve Kerr in the face?
Might have been Michael Jordan, to be honest. But then again, that's low-hanging fruit. It might have been that foreign point guard they had that Michael didn't like. It wouldn't have been Dennis, because Steve Kerr wouldn't be alive still. Michael Jordan.
The first altercation was Steve Kerr and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face. Who is the other one?
Okay. And punched in the face. Was it in a game? Was it?
No, it was at practice. It was at practice.
The second one is common knowledge?
Common knowledge. One of the players still plays in the league today. Though might currently still be on a sabbatical. The other one does not play in the league anymore. And
sabbatical.
Had to take a sabbatical this year. Maybe the league forced him to take a sabbatical this year. The league might have said, "We're not too happy with the the vitamins you've decided to take, and we're gonna make you sit out for a bit.
Bobby
this
Portis.
Year. Bobby Portis punched who in the face at a Bulls practice?
And he doesn't play anymore.
Doesn't play in the NBA anymore. He punched him into another basketball league. Who did Bobby Portis punch into another basketball league?
Had to be between 2010 and 2017.
Yeah, around there, yes. Around then, Bobby Portis punched a guy into the Spanish league, who then went and won the MVP of the Spanish league. I'll give you that.
Was it Ilyasova? No, wait.
Follow that rabbit hole. You're going down the right track with Ilyasova. Not completely, but like that vibe of player.
I don't know why, but Kirk Heinrich gives me that vibe too. He's not foreign though. He might be. Man, this is tough. I might have to take the L on this. Fuck, man, I had no clue. Ilyasova.
It's not Ilyasova. It is one Nikola Mirotic.
Oh, that's crazy. Nah, he went to that league because he would rather play for his home country than make millions in America.
I think it's because Bobby Portis punched him out of the league, but who can say? Who can say? I had one other funny one I wanted to just throw in there. I have one funny one and one interesting one I just wanted to throw out. The funny one is, who is the greatest one-on-one basketball player in the history of the sport?
LeBron James.
No.
Well, we wouldn't know.
One-on-one.
We wouldn't determine that.
There's one guy who is the single greatest one-on-one basketball player ever.
Allen Iverson.
Would have beat Michael Jordan. He never lost. It's a funny one, Coogii. It's a funny one. He never lost.
Bill Russell?
He never lost in one-on-one, ever. Would have beat Michael Jordan. He never lost. Let me phrase it a different way. Never lost.
What?
Never lost. You're saying you would beat Michael Jordan one-on-one? Yeah, I'd beat Michael Jordan. One-on-one, I never lost.
Oh, wait. This is recent. This interview is recent.
It's over the last, maybe it's 6 or 7 years.
That one, damn. Deion Waiters?
Give me a hint. This guy just got his foot cut off recently.
LeVar Ball?
Yeah.
Oh.
The greatest one-on-one player ever. Never lost.
Never lost.
That would have been my last one. That would have been a goofy one. The interesting one I found is, you know who the number one turnover leader of all time is?
Kobe
Don't
Bryant.
overthink it. No.
James Harden.
Don't overthink it. Number one turnover all time contributes. It directly correlates with most minutes played ever.
LeBron James.
It's LeBron. Yeah, LeBron has the most turnovers ever. He played the most minutes, played the most games. Makes sense. Do you know who number two is? It's crazy to me. Number two, most turnovers ever.
Russell Westbrook.
It's Russell Westbrook. That's crazy that you knew that. Crazy you knew that. I was shocked. I was figuring it would be right. I thought it would be Kobe.
Have been the fifth question. God damn it.
Yeah, I was thinking it could have been Kobe. Could have been, Karl Malone. He played for an obscenely long time. Kareem. These guys that played for an obscenely long time or that were really ball dominant or all this. But it's no, it's Russ. Somehow Russell Westbrook turned the ball over more times than Karl Malone. Turned it over. Who is number three? Karl is number three.
Russell was almost my guess for one. Well, no, because Russell's got about 100 hours of highlight films out there. But he's got about 25 hours of low light films, and they look real bad.
They do. I mean,
like when you play the style he plays, where it's super fast paced, super up and down, like you get erratic a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Prime Russ was absolutely monstrous. I think, like, it gets kind of forgotten, and I think,
we'll get to that. We'll get to something about Russ in a bit too.
I think a lot of people do. They just kind of forget how good he was, and like, there are modern NBA fans that like have recently started watching that didn't see how absolutely insane of a player he was.
Right.
Wow. Do you see it? Did you see the Lakers game on right now?
Nah, bro, I got you on.
It just ended on a Luka buzzer beater where he a rim running floater comes up, bounces off the back of the rim, and LeBron tips it in
for the win of the game.
For the win. Yep.
Crazy. Luka Lakers, baby. Luka Lakers. I was gonna ask you where the Lakers play before moving to Los Angeles.
Oh, that's Minneapolis.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minneapolis. I actually do know that one because that makes sense because it's a state with a bunch of lakes, so it makes sense. That's where the name came from. There's no lakes in LA.
Yeah. And then I had who's the oldest player to ever play in an NBA game?
Would that be Udonis Haslem?
No.
Really?
You probably never heard of this dude, to be honest. His name is Nat Hickey.
No shot. I would have got Nat Hickey. Who the fuck, Nat Hickey?
He played for the Providence Steamrollers at age 45 years and 363 days old. Last game was January 28th, 1948.
What a guy! Holy shit! Holy shit! What a guy!
Nat Hickey. Remember the name?
Steamrollers. That's a great team name. Bring them back.
Bring them back, baby.
I've never heard of the Providence Steamrollers before.
Me neither.
That's nuts.
Well, Johnny, you had the comeback there. You had the Minnesota Timberwolves comeback. Down 7-0. 2 questions to go. Won at 14-7. Just like the games we picked last week, unfortunately. But anyway, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, I earned this one, though, at least. The last one was a joke. This one was at least fair.
Oh, no, I'm talking about...
The last one was the Jazz one, yeah.
Yeah, that was some bullshit. Bullshit. But check this out. In this next segment, Instant Replay, we get behind the booth for when our viewers need coverage on the biggest stories in sports from a different angle. So, Johnny, we were talking about it a little bit last night. Russel Wilson signs a 1-year deal with the New York Giants. They also have signed Jameis Winston. Is it time for Giants country to ride?
I mean, they had no option. They had no other choice. They have to ride. And you know what? It's not the worst thing. In my experience, it might have been really bad for you. In my experience, the ride isn't that bad. It was fine, you know. You didn't have a ton. Towards the end of the season, I didn't have a lot of hope. But in the middle of the season, I was having a great time. The ride was awesome in the middle of the season. when he just went on that like 5-6 game win streak. We were at the top of the world, like 9-2. It felt great. I was like, maybe Russ never lost a step. Maybe he actually is still good. And he just, that mile high air was just getting to him. And he came back down to earth and it was fine. But, I mean, I think he still is a starting quarterback level player. I think I would have much preferred the Steelers re-sign Russ than do what they're probably going to do.
Only team left for him.
Yeah, and you know, I know a lot of people are going to be clamoring for Jameis to start, but I think Russ is the better option based off what I saw both of them last year. The highs of Jameis are very high, but Russ also threw a 400-yard great game last year against the Bengals. So not a great defense, granted, but
right.
I mean, we'll see. All that really does, though, is kind of more or less guarantee that the Giants are not going to be taking Shedeur Sanders, and for one of two reasons. I'm stealing this from Nick Wright. but I think he's completely right on this, which is the one of two reasons is either A, the Giants are 100% out on Shedeur and they don't want him, or B, they are 100% convinced that the Browns are going to draft him. So either way, I'm hoping that it's the Giants are out on him, because he passes top 3, he could fall all the way to 20 and the Steelers could grab him. But 20-ish, we're right around there. I don't remember exactly where the Steelers are, but I think we're right around 20. That would be nice, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up too much. We're gonna see though, but I do not envy Giants fans right now, though. I'll tell you what.
They got two choices. They got a quarterback who can throw for 5 picks all season, maybe hit 25 touchdowns and average 250 yards passing a game, or they got a quarterback who could throw 30 touchdowns, 30 picks, and average 500 yards a game, damn near.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess what the Giants are doing is what I kind of think the Colts are doing, which it makes sense for. I think it's like both of them are doing something that I don't blame either of these teams because of their history for doing, which is we're going to tank. We're not going to try and get good this season. We're going to just kind of stay shitty and hope that we luck into getting the best branding marketing opportunity ever, which is another Manning. That's what they want. I think the Giants and the Colts, look at what they did at quarterback this offseason and tell me that's not what they want. They want another Manning. They don't want anything else.
Yeah, I mean they're paying Daniel Jones more than they're paying Anthony.
Yeah, for 1 year. I mean, I'm not.
Well, I'm saying so that might give incentive to play him, and honestly, I think their ceiling is lower with Daniel, unless he becomes something we haven't seen so far, like Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I just think that both of these teams are. You have to remember that it's a business, and it's about ticket sales, and it's about merch sales, and all of this.
Right.
Having Manning on the back of a jersey for any team is
with the Colts too. You
massive,
imagine?
But the Colts or the Giants, it's an even bigger deal.
Oh, you're right. Because
you know what I mean?
Them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So both of these guys want the name Manning back in their building. So I could see that front offices are going, why are we going to push to try and get to 6 wins when we could get 3 or 4 wins and possibly be set financially for the next 10 years, and not even have to worry about it. So I kind of think that's what half of these teams are doing, but man, I'd be frustrated if I was a Giants fan. Just like, and mind you, I'm going to be frustrated as a Steelers fan when we inevitably sign Aaron Rodgers, but I at least the Steelers, I know, like, are getting aggressive. We grabbed DK Metcalf. We have a great defense. Like, we will be a competitive team no matter who is at quarterback. Yeah. We're not going to be terrible, huh?
They met Will Howard.
The Steelers?
Yeah, his pro day went really good, apparently.
It would be really cool if that's what I've been saying. Is like, I hope the Steelers just take a flyer on a quarterback and see what we can do. It's not like Aaron's going to be there for more than a year. So even if we do end up getting him, which I assume we will, we're probably still, I would prefer that we just draft somebody, lower end guy that can sit behind Aaron, sit behind racist Mason and learn a little bit.
Or trade for Shedeur.
Man, I think if he does slip past, especially if Rodgers keeps fucking around and he puts it off all the way till the draft, because I've been hearing this theory that he's waiting until after the draft to make sure the Steelers don't draft a quarterback in the first round.
Right.
I think if Rodgers isn't signed and Shedeur doesn't get taken by Cleveland and the Giants, but really it's Cleveland at this point, he slips to like 5 or 6, I could see the Steelers going, it's now or never. Let's grab him. Like, let's get up, let's leapfrog the Saints and see if we can get there. Like, there aren't a ton of teams that would certainly draft him. It's really just like after the Giants, the only risks are the Raiders, who might go, let's just get a guy sitting behind Geno and let him wait, or the Saints. But the Saints have so many other problems that it would kind of be dumb to draft him when, like, your team needs to torpedo downwards for 2 full years. Like, if you're going to ever have a chance, you want to bring a quarterback into that situation. And you know what? Secretly, maybe the Saints are also one of those teams that would like to have a Manning back in the building. So
yeah,
maybe they would like to torpedo downwards and go for the arch tank.
They say there's at least 4 teams, including the Giants, also trying to trade up for that number 1 pick.
Well, that would be so dumb if the Giants did.
Abdul Carter.
Like, for Abdul Carter, no, that's smart. But for a quarterback, it'd be dumb.
Oh yeah,
but
especially now.
But Abdul Carter could still realistically fall to the Giants at 3. Like,
yeah, because Titans love Cam Ward.
Right, and if you even if it's not Abdul Carter, it's Travis Hunter. Like, your worst case scenario as the Giants, if you stay at 3, is you either get Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, which you can be happy with either of those guys. So I wouldn't really care. It's not like they're not both positions of need for them. They need an edge rusher and they need secondary help,
right?
/ receiver help, either one, whatever they think he's going to be best at.
100%. Wrapping up that topic, though, I do think for wins, Russell's better. I think for Malik Neighbors' numbers, though, I think Jameis is better.
For Malik Neighbors' fantasy managers,
he'd be feeding the boy.
What do you think Travis is going to play? Travis Hunter is going to play in the NFL.
Listen, we don't want to get going on this, man, but I'm going to tell you this right now. He's playing both. I'm tired of people trying to tell people what they can and can't do. Every single time in the history of the world that we've had somebody do something no one's ever done, they've told them they weren't going to be able to do it. And now most people couldn't. But to most things that we've said somebody couldn't do, somebody has been able to do it. At one point, they said you couldn't play quarterback if you weren't 6'2". Like,
I've heard two things that have like kind of swayed me on it, because originally I was like, "Why? I think he'll play a little bit of both." Like, I think he will, but I think he'll heavily favor one as opposed to the other.
He's got to play.
One of the big reasons I've heard was you can't go to both positions for practice. Like, there are position meetings in practice that day by day that you have to be in the meeting for. So you're going to be very understudied at your position if you are going back and forth between them, because they're happening at the same time. So I've seen things be like, he kind of has to pick one, even if they play him at the other position too. There has to be one main one. And then somebody also went, it's got to be receiver because they make more money. Like, why else? What else are you going to pick?
So it's like receiver, you make
he's
more
probably
money.
A better corner.
But he's a better corner.
Right.
Also, as a receiver, you could argue a top flight receiver makes more impact on the team overall than a top flight corner. Now, obviously, it's tough because if you're on corner and you're number one receiver, now you're going against cornerbacks like Pat Surtain every week, but then you got to go guard Jamar Chase's right after that, which can be tough. I've heard that. You can't really do... It's tough to do packages for defensive players in the sense of, like, a great corner who could be the best corner just coming in certain plays of the game. It's a lot easier to do that for receivers.
Right.
But I think he's intent on playing both, and I think any team that picks him, I think is doing so knowing that that's what he wants to do, and I think you have to at least let him try it, because I just think he's done this his whole life. You think about it, he's done this his whole life. I mean, if there's anybody who can miss a meeting at the time it is and get filled in on what it was later, it's a player like him. So I think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they put Dion into offensive sets. So it's not like... it's unheard of. They put J.J. Watt, they ran him at tight end a bunch in the middle of his career.
I think it should be situational too, though. I mean, key moments, right? Because it's tough, right? Imagine having your best corner on the bench because he plays receiver, and then your number one corner is getting dusted all game. Like, you're just going to leave your best corner on the bench while this dude's getting dusted? Like, I don't know. I'm going to have to put him in at some point if he's the best corner on the team. And I think that's where, like, for example, man coverage sets, you don't really need a ton of... It's not so much game plan for man coverage on a corner position. You're just going to be following the man. So that's also the thing. On defense, he's probably not going to play as much zone. He's not a zone guy. He's a man-to-man, follow the receiver type of guy.
You just have to be a legit monstrous film junkie if you're going to play both positions.
Oh yeah, like he literally he'll have no life.
He can't have a life. Yeah,
he can't have a life. He'll have to literally be only football for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I hope he plays both effectively.
It'd be cool.
But
if I had to bet, though, yeah, probably receiver for the money. But who knows? I don't know whose choice it is. Is it going to be his choice, the team's choice? Both?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to, like, tell somebody who's already a multimillionaire, like, nope, sorry, a Heisman winner, multimillionaire, first-round draft pick. No, you have to play this. Like,
especially if they say corner and he's like, nah, I want that receiver money. And they're like, nah,
maybe Vrabel would have the balls to do that, but I don't know if a lot of coaches would.
Yeah, Vrabel, no one's messing with that dude. But Jonny, last week we were talking about it a little bit. He was visiting. It became official in the last couple days. Stefon Diggs signing with New England Patriots. Now, he posted a video a few days ago as well. He was doing some squats. First time. He's posted a video of him working out, doing an official workout post ACL surgery. But what are your thoughts on this signing by the Patriots? I know I mentioned I was worried personally about it potentially impacting Drake May's development. I know it can impact it in a good way, right? Like Josh Allen. But you also get the situation where if you have a receiver who's top flight, demands the ball, is very drama queen, you could use the word. You know, there's going to be a lot of noise in New England. But then again, you have Vrabel. So if there's anyone that can handle that, it's him.
There are like 3 receivers in the entire league, like star receivers in the entire league that aren't a problem to some extent. So I'm not too concerned about that. And I also go, you know, once Diggs is healthy, the only issue with it really is that, like, I've seen people like complain about the contract, and it's like, I don't care. Like the Patriots had money to spend.
Oh yeah.
Like, you overpay if you get a guy in free agency. That's just the rules. So that's how it works. They needed a receiver, and they got a receiver. The only real issue with me is just that he's going to be, you know, he won't be available at the beginning of the season. He's going to be, it'll probably be week 6 to 8 that he'll be available. So, but that being said, people, you know, you could say like he's going to demand the ball, but yeah, he'll demand the ball even if he didn't talk, because all the other receivers on that team suck. Like, of course he's going to demand the ball. Who else are you going to throw it to?
Keyshawn Booty size number 2.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like Keyshawn Boutte, he's all right. Like, I'm not gonna.
Nah, they got somebody else too. They got somebody else.
Mac Hollins, they have, and
Barefoot Bandit, baby.
Hendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry's solid. And I think they re-signed Austin Hooper. So like they're still gonna do a lot of tight end sets, I think. But I think Diggs is definitely more of a benefit than a hindrance to Drake May and his development.
Okay. Do you think he takes their offense to the next level?
I think, yeah. The next level is not that much higher. I mean, it's not that high relative to the rest of the NFL, because that was about as bad of an offense as you could have.
Okay, better yet this. Does he make them a contender in the AFC East?
No, not in the AFC East. Like, do I think that it gives them a chance to like finish better than the Bills? No. But like, do I think that they could be vying for the 7 seed for like the bottom wild card? Sure. I think that's possible. They could be competing with the Dolphins for second place.
Okay.
But certainly not No, I mean, I think the Bills are leagues ahead of. They're like the Bills, unless Josh Allen gets injured, they are slotted in winning that division, no question in my mind.
Yeah. No, they could definitely make a playoff spot, make a playoff push. They've been making some moves. But Johnny, the NFL Competition Committee, in the last couple of days, they've submitted a proposal. One, making the dynamic kickoff permanent. So if you're familiar with that, as I'm sure you are, obviously those players, they can't run until the kick is actually kicked, caught, they run back. But they also, a new rule, are proposing moving touchbacks to the 35-yard line. What are your thoughts on that? I have some thoughts on this initially too.
Yeah, like, let's just keep making the kickoff worse instead of getting rid of it and replacing it with something better. Or like, I don't know, like, why do they keep making the kickoff worse? The kickoff sucks. Yeah, I mean, 35. When you're talking about 35, like
a third of the field.
You're talking like if you're starting the ball at the 35, then what that means effectively is that you have to, with how good kickers are now, you just throw one first down and a kicker, like the good kickers can now kick the field goal one first down away. Like the really good kickers, you get 15 yards, you're at the 50-yard line, like
67-yarder right there.
No, it's a 60-yard.
You got to add 17.
Right. So 67. So let's say the 50, but like you get to the 45. So let's go. You get 20 yards, and now you have a field goal. Like I don't know. It's just kind of it's just kind of goofy.
I thought they were incentivizing. I thought they wanted to be safer, but then they were trying to incentivize more returns. But like, what's the incentive to run that shit out if I got to get back to the 35?
Exactly. Well, the thing is that the idea, I believe, because with the dynamic kickoff, they're trying to kick it into
the zone. You're right.
So it's like zone. So then you can't. Like you have to run it.
You can let
but then it's like
so if you let it bounce, isn't that like a penalty or something? If you let it bounce.
Well, if it bounces out of bounds, it's a penalty. If it bounces out the back of the end zone, it's a touchback. But if it doesn't bounce out the back of the end zone,
under the new rules still though. Under the new rules,
yeah.
Still, okay.
If it lands in the play or like the zone and bounces out the back of the end zone, then it's a touchback. But you're running the risk because it's now landing in. It's a live ball when it hits the ground.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the field of play. So that's a big risk to try and let it bounce out the back. So, but my thing is what you just said. You're totally right. The original reason for doing the dynamic kickoff was for player safety. And then it's like, but now you want to incentivize kick returns. So it's not about player safety then. So like, we'll go back to the original kickoff then.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like go back to the 20-yard line.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It used to be the 20. If you run a kick return back to the 40, you'd be like, man, that's a great return. Mm-hmm. That means you start every drive as a touchback 5 yards from a great return. Like,
yeah, I don't really get. No, the 35 is dumb. If you want to keep the dynamic kickoff, keep it at the 30. The 30 is already really close.
Hold on, it was the 30 now.
Yeah, it's the 30.
Damn,
the touchback is 30.
They went 20 to 25 to 30 to.
Yeah, now it's the 30, and like games were higher scoring this season, and kickers were like hit more field goals this season than ever before. At least like the number total, and it was because so many drives started at the 30.
Right, so it's like you add those yards, now you're ending up with a farther drive, and you're in field goal range.
Right. So I'm like, I don't know. Like I guess maybe it's just a push to make the games higher scoring or something. I don't know what it is, but 35 is obscene. That's like, why not make it the 40? Why not make it the 50? Let's start at the 50-yard line. Why not? Let's just cut the field in half.
Let's just play 20 in. Just play 20 in.
Why do we even have a 20-yard line? Let's just forget it. Like, let's make the NFL field 70 yards. It's just dumb. 35 is stupid.
Yeah, one day we're gonna get 100-point NFL games routine, like their NBA.
Yeah, so that's dumb. Don't like it.
No, it's dumb. It's definitely dumb. A couple days ago, Johnny, Puka Nacua says that he wants to retire at the age of 30. He wants to go to Aaron Donald route, retire on top, retire young. What are your thoughts on that? Seeing as, he's only been in the league 2 years, 24. He was a little older getting in, so he's already got 6 years left based off his timeline. What are your thoughts on that?
I got no problem with the idea of a player doing that. Going the Megatron route, going the Barry Sanders route, going the Aaron Donald or Andrew Luck route. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to make that decision, the Luke Kuechly route, nothing wrong with that. That being said, Puka, keep it to yourself, man. You had nothing to gain from telling the world that, and everything to lose. Like, now the team is making decisions around, you're not going to be here. Like, we do not value you as a long-term asset as much anymore. Like, we now are questioning your commitment to this team. Like, now, you know what I mean? Whether that, how that manifests or not, I don't know. But that you had literally nothing to gain from saying that out loud. You keep that to yourself. You hold it down. And I don't know. I mean, like, I got no problem with him doing it, but I do think that was just a stupid move to say it.
Right. No, 100%. I have no problem with you having that in mind. That's the plan. But you don't say that shit out loud. You know how many millions? Man. You know how many millions he could have just cost himself?
For real.
He could have just cost himself long-term contracts.
Imagine if he's 29 years old. You're 29 years old and he's in a contract.
And you're in free agency.
He could have gone to somebody and gone, I want a 5-year contract, 3 years guaranteed. And they give it to him and he retires year one. Like, after year one. But now nobody's going to give you that because they know you're retiring at 30. These NFL teams don't give a fuck about you, bro. You do not need to tell them your plans.
Right. And then
hold it down.
The commitment thing. Like, I just think, like, imagine, like, teammates in the practice field, the locker room with you, and they're just like, damn, this dude's already planning to dip out on us. Like, he just got here. Like, imagine Matt Stafford, who's been in the league mad long, damn near almost 40, and he's looking at this dude like, bro, he already ready to dip out? I think,
like I said, it's fine to do it, but, like, you just, like I said, it's a cost loss, or cost benefit analysis. Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Cost benefit analysis. Your benefit is nothing. you gained nothing from telling us this, and all it did was make it a story and now, like, the team now looks at you through a different lens.
Yeah, and it wasn't even with Taylor Rooks. So there was no reason to be talking crazy like that. Well, plus, what if they don't win? What if they don't win another ring, and they get right there at the game and lose right before he turns 30? Is he gonna just not come back with the championship team?
He tells Kay Adams. He would tell Kay Adams. He should have waited to tell Kay Adams that. See if then I would get it. He's like, I'm not gonna be doing this forever. I'll have a lot of time for you, Kay Adams, eventually. I'm not going to be doing this forever.
Then I'd get it. Yeah, no, he was talking to a dude.
Some man.
Yeah, he's just like,
hey, man,
plans,
questionable decision-making. Just like going to BYU, questionable decision-making.
Yeah.
Is Puka a Mormon? I mean, he must be, right? He went to BYU.
He kind of looks like a Mormon.
Is he a Mormon? We're looking this up. We're looking this up right now. Is Puka Nacua a Mormon?
He's got to be. I mean,
his mother is a member of the Jesus Christ Church of Latter-day Saints.
I mean, I feel like even if you aren't Mormon when you go to BYU, you got to become Mormon. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to live the Mormon lifestyle.
Like, it's like, think about like a high school like CBA. Like, they had them niggas in like church and shit during school. So like, I can only imagine BYU.
What it says is that he has never publicly said that he is a Mormon, but he did go to BYU, and his mom is a Mormon. So.
You know why he's leaving at 30?
So he can go become a Mormon missionary.
That's the prime soaking age.
Prime soaking age.
Moving on. We got some breaking news last night, Johnny. Some unfortunate news coming out of Milwaukee. Bucks, Damian Lillard is out indefinitely. Yeah. Say that again.
Just Giannis and Kyle Kuzma now.
That being said, that's still better than who it was before they got named. Oh no, because they lost Drew.
They lost Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton for.
Oh,
for
you're right.
Kyle
Kuzma and Middleton are a wash, so then they just lost Drew. Okay, yeah, they're worse, but out indefinitely due to a blood clot in the calf. And I'm not going to pronounce the technical term for it, but it was the same kind of blood clot that Victor had.
Yeah.
So,
which is technically not like chronic, but it is.
The clot itself isn't bad. It's the blood thinners you take to heal it that make it so like you're not more liable.
Can't. Yeah, right. Well, you can't play with a blood clot because it gets your blood pumping like that, and then if it loosens the clot, you die.
If the clot like moves into your...
Yeah, if the whole clot moves, that's the danger with playing with a blood clot, is that you want to use the blood thinners to slowly break it down. But if the whole clot escapes is one thing and goes to your brain, you die instantly. You have a stroke. Like that's what a stroke is. So it's just and you die.
Damn. Would you know if you had a blood clot? Like, is that something you would definitely know about?
You would. There is like pain associated with it. Like you would.
Now. I mean, I don't play basketball like that. But...
No, it's not just basketball. I mean, it's normally a hereditary thing.
Shit. Oh, okay.
Yeah, normally it's hereditary. Not always though, but yeah, it's normally like shortness of breath, pain to a certain extremity, like things. I'm not a doctor, by the way. I just know this because my dad recently had a blood clot.
Ooh.
And yeah, in his leg. So, and it was like he said his leg.
Can you see it? Like, is it a big bump?
No. I mean, there might be like inflammation, but no, it's not like that. It's in your vein. But he's like he started getting like really tired, short of breath. It hurt really bad for him to stand on his leg. There's a lot of pain in it, and he was like, something's wrong. I need to go to the hospital. And sure enough, the doctors were like, it's a good thing you fucking came to the hospital, boss man. If we didn't get you on blood thinners, it was over for you.
Wow.
So, but if good cardio health, all that fun stuff, probably fine.
Jeez. Look at that, guys. We came for sports and we got an MD lesson from Jonny himself.
Don't quote me on anything. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just speaking on what happened with my dad, and that might have been a different type of blood clot. I don't know anything. I'm not qualified even a little bit to speak on this.
We're putting MD next to your name in the chat.
But what I do know is that it can be threatening to your life to play with a blood clot. That's why Chris Bosh retired, is because he had chronic blood clots.
Right.
So they were like, that exertion from playing sports can loosen those clots, and that it can be threatening to your life. It's a quick way to go, though. It is a quick way to go. It is
scary stuff, man.
And you're done.
That's crazy. That's a crazy animation.
Like, yeah. It's like lights out. It hits your brain, aneurysm, donezo.
I'll tell you what. Prayers out to Lillard. Prayers out. Swift recovery. Hopefully next year able to come back, no issues. But yeah, for the Bucks, it's gonna be tough. We're gonna see if Giannis can put the team on his big Greek back.
That's such a weird. I mean, like, is that not technically true? Like, it is technically true. He is Greek and he is big, but I don't know why big Greek back is a crazy statement.
Yo, I'm telling you, I was trying to think of his height, but I was say 6'10". He's not 6'10". He's probably like 7'2".
No, I think he is. I think he's 6'10". I think he's 6'10" or 6'11". I don't think he's 7 feet tall.
Put the team on his 6'10" body frame. There we go.
I think he is 6'10". The only thing I really hope for the Bucks, sincerely, is that this doesn't convince your front office, oh, well, we lost Dame, so we can't really judge the postseason because Dame wasn't there. It doesn't matter. No matter what happens, even if you win the championship, fire Doc Rivers. Fire Doc Rivers.
You know what? Would be poetic. They blow a 3-1 championship lead.
Yeah, You have to fire him. Doc Rivers sucks. How does he have a job?
Doc Rivers has 4 out of 13 all-time blown 3-1 leads.
Blown 3-1s. He's bad. He had 1 championship he's been running off his whole life, and it was with the first NBA super team. So it's like, what are you talking about?
And he's out here talking about they should give me credit for the 3 wins. They're always talking about the blown leads, but I'm proud of our team. Some of those teams were undermatched. They don't ever talk about the 3 wins we had.
I'm just hoping. I mean, now it's looking like in the first round, the Knicks will match up with either the Bucks or the Pistons.
You guys might like that Bucks one now.
Very winnable. We normally play the Bucks pretty well. In the Brunson era, we've played the Bucks fairly well. So I'm looking forward to it. We're a good defensive team. Like, we're good, like, especially like wing defenders. Like, we can handle that. Like, you know what I mean? So if you attack our point guards, we're screwed. You can't do anything. I mean, man, Brunson, it's rough. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But R.I.P. Dame. Sorry that happened to you, boss man.
Man, yeah. It's unfortunate. It's also unfortunate as last night, Jimmy Butler made his return to Miami and was looking to get some of that get back. And instead, the Heat handled the Warriors, and the Warriors had to go get back on the flight after a loss. Spoiled the return to Miami. Tough birthday present. But either way, it's a great story. But real question I have, Johnny, is who's going to win this? Who's going to win this battle between Jimmy Butler and the Heat? Who gets the ring first after the split? Jimmy Butler.
I mean, probably the Heat, because I don't think Jimmy Butler's going to win a ring for the rest of his career. But
you don't think the Warriors? You don't think Steph? You don't think Steph and Curry?
No.
Wardell Curry.
No, I don't think Wardell Stephanie Curry is going to get another one. I'd be shocked, like, unless he got like Giannis on his team or something. But like, as the best player, I don't see it. If we don't think he can do it this season, which is very unlikely, next season OKC is going to be better. Next season the Rockets are going to be better. Next season the Spurs will be better. There will be teams that will improve next year.
Where are the Heat going to be? Next season, the Pistons and the Magic are going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, the Pistons are going to be.
Well, the Magic are only as bad as they are because of the injuries, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, well, they have an offensive problem too. Their offense is putrid. It's the worst in the league by a decent margin. Yeah, the Pistons are real. Like, Cade out of like this season was just like, he's always had good stats, but this season was like, I'm a top 15 player in the league, and it's time to let you guys know that.
You don't think I JB as their coach, Bickerstaff?
Yeah, they got Bickerstaff. Yep. So yeah, they're a fun team to watch now. Cade's a really fun player to watch.
Hold on, they got Tobias too.
Yeah, they have Tobias.
Tobias.
But Cade is such a fun player, like how he plays. He like glides up and down the court. He like really, he plays aggressive, but not like, he has an aggressive mindset, but he's not super physical. It's a really interesting style he plays. But it works. I really like Cade's game. I think it's really fun. I think he's going to be really, really good over the next handful of years. But yeah, I just don't see like the Warriors doing it with Steph as the best player again.
So you think the Heat with Tyler Hero as their best player is going to do it?
No, I just think that the Heat, like, in 20 years will win a championship.
Oh,
like Jimmy Butler won't.
Pat Riley will still be there too. He's going to call up Jimmy. Like, hey, Jimmy.
Pat Riley's going to be on a fucking breathing machine, being Jimmy, kept alive with the blood of children.
I told you I'll go get your ass.
Yeah.
Jimmy's going to be in his coffee shop like, man, get the fuck off.
Yeah. I don't think... But I think, like, in the short term, like, Jimmy's won because he's in a really good place and playing competitive basketball.
And him and Draymond are perfect together, too. Him and Draymond on the same team. Havoc for other teams.
Yeah, the Heat are worse off, and they're not going to be competitive for a while until they make a big move. And like the Warriors are competitive. I just think like if the Warriors won the championship this year, it would be insane. You know what I mean? Like it would be like nobody on the planet would have seen that coming.
But wasn't that kind of like the last one they won?
It was, but that was also like the first season that the whole team was back together healthy again. Like if you remember like the years preceding that, like Clay was injured.
KD got hurt
Steph
before he
injured.
left.
KD left. Draymond was like the best player on the team at one point because Steph and Clay were both injured. Like,
Yeah.
Wiggins there was like a weird chunk where he wasn't there, and then he was, nothing made sense. Wiseman, like they brought in James Wiseman and he did nothing. Like it was just a really strange couple of years, but they were still all good. It's just they weren't playing together. It was like shocking, but I think at this point it would be like unbelievable if they pulled it off. If somehow they knock off not only the Lakers, not only the Nuggets, not only the Thunder, but then get to the finals and then have to beat presumably the Celtics.
So you're saying playoff Jimmy only works in the East?
I'm not saying he only works in the East. Like he'll up his game, but playoff Jimmy's not magical. Like
some of those runs, bro, he was carrying that Heat team.
He was. Where was he last year?
Last year wasn't great.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. Great.
No. But I mean, like they did knock off the Celtics a couple times throughout those runs. Almost got the Jason Brown and Tatum broken up, or Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum broken up, but they stayed pat. They got it done. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, depends on how long Jimmy has. If he's got another 5 years or so, 3-5 years maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, if Jimmy doesn't get one, then the Heat are gonna win.
Yeah.
I guess they both could lose if none of them win one in Jimmy's career. Then I guess they both lose.
Jimmy could get one, but I don't think it's with this version of the Warriors.
They gotta trade for LeBron.
Yeah, maybe.
LeBron, Jimmy, Curry, and Draymond. Then Draymond wouldn't have to leave his games to watch LeBron play.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of the Lakers, they fell to 3-7 in their past 10 games with a loss to the Magic a couple nights ago. They've been really streaky lately. They lost 4 straight on a road trip, and they won 4 straight. And they lost 3 straight. They're 3-7 in the last 10. Last couple games, they got the whole band back together for the most part. James has been back. Luka's there. Hasn't looked too great. Are you concerned about the Luka Lakers right now, or are they still the favorite we got going on over here for the title?
No, not concerned. LeBron was out. LeBron's easing back in. LeBron just beat the 4 seed in the East. No problem.
My apologies. 4-7 in the last 11 games.
And I'm not concerned. Whatever. Like LeBron was out for a lot of those games. The team, as currently constructed, does not work with only one of those guys. They need both of them. They need Luka and LeBron. And LeBron is taking it easy, coming off of an injury as an old man. Like I'm not super worried about the playoff prospects of the Los Angeles Lakers as it stands right now. Now if they slip all the way down to the play-in, then come talk to me. Then I'll be concerned. But I think they're holding it down for the time being.
Yeah. I'm not concerned. I had something that came to mind as you were talking, and I was thinking, 5 guys, bolo ties, supersized fries, Lakers in 5. I'm not worried.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried, brother. Those shits have me geeking, bro. I'll be looking at them comments as you're reading them. There's just so many of them. I'm just Lakers in 5. No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. They're gonna get it done when it comes together. Especially now that Bronny's looking kind of nice. We'll get into that a little bit. But Bronny's looking kind of nice right now. He's looking kind of nice. Now, we talked about Russell Westbrook a little bit earlier, Jonny. He passed KG a couple nights ago for 20th all-time on the scoring list. And you started to answer my question. My question was, does he get enough credit for how good of a player he has been throughout his career?
I think people who saw him remember. Like, I think people who watched him in his prime remember. But, like, these new kids, these new NBA fans that only know Russ, like, Rockets and on, probably don't understand how good he was at one point in his career. But his play style just doesn't translate to a long-term superstar career. That's just not the type of guy he was. I mean, you watch, like, there was another player that played very similarly to him, maybe like one tier down, that played very similarly and had a very similar end to his career, which is John Wall. Like, people, same deal. Like, if you weren't watching the NBA in the early 2010s, early to mid 2010s, you don't know, you have no concept of how good John Wall was.
John Wall was nasty.
He was crazy.
And he had a dance. The John Wall.
Yeah. I mean, John Wall was one of my favorite players in the league. I love John Wall. But he made the Wizards fun to watch.
Him and prime Bradley Beal?
Yeah. It made the Wizards fun to watch. Marcin Gortat. I mean, my God. Where did he go? Marcin Gortat just disappeared. But I mean, yeah, just that style of play doesn't lend itself to a long NBA career, at least as a star. So, that being said, though, he'll get his kudos when he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Easy. Triple doubles. I mean, the dude is a stat demon. But then it's crazy because, like, usually guys that put up a ton of stats, you don't necessarily see, like, the play. Like, you just see the stats, but you don't see the play. He's crazy. I mean, this dude would terrorize the rim. He'd dunk on centers, dunk on power forwards. Didn't matter how tall you were. Not now, obviously. But back in the day, I mean, he was a 6-foot point guard catching oops.
No, the way he had some of the most exciting dunks that you could ever watch. The way he would dunk was so evil. Like, it was authoritative. It was angry. It was barbaric.
The way he was trying to take your soul from you every time he dunked on you. It was insane.
Yeah. Excellent.
We don't get dunks like that no more. Let's just change the game.
We really don't. We get like one every month from LeBron, and it's like, whoa, he's 40, and then that's it. That's all we get.
Yep. All them threes now, which I don't hate. I like threes, but
we had that one of Ja on Victor Wembanyama. That one was great.
Yeah,
can't forget that too. But
yeah,
otherwise we don't get it done.
After Ja started to hurt himself, I think players were like, "Yeah, I'm done trying that.
I'm done. Yeah,
I'm done. I'm done." But check this out, Jonny. In this next segment called "Talk That Talk," not only do we recap our picks from last week, but one couch coach will get to talk that talk with a speech for the people. Now, Jonny, you unfortunately took the lead. You took the lead in this. I was up by one game before this, as I said, whooping that ass. But after last week, I went 1-4. You went 3-2. You are now up 9-6. Or 9-6 is your record. I'm 8-7. So you're one game ahead. That Lakers game killed me. I shouldn't have flipped on that one. That's what it was. I had it.
That was crazy that you did.
Well, because you picked the other team, but then you looked, you're like, oh, they're not playing. I'm picking Lakers. And I was like, all right, I picked Nuggets.
Yeah. But I figured you and I were just going to both pick the Lakers because it was obvious. Like, once I realized, Jokic and Murray still aren't playing, I'm good. I'm not going to pick them because that's, what is that, hurt back Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon? I'm good. I don't want that.
Yeah, and then somehow I went from picking the Lakers because of the injuries to then picking the Nuggets despite the injuries.
If Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon were morphed into one man, if they mixed him and made him one guy, he might be the best NBA player ever.
They'd have a third All-Star.
It'd be crazy. If that was one guy, they just took their skill sets and morphed them together. It'd be the best player ever. It'd be insane.
Michael Porter is one of those dudes that just never fully materialized. I mean, like, he's still a solid player, but, like, they were talking about him like he was Ben Simmons or LeBron James.
He was supposed to be that good, but he had such a severe back problem. His back was such a concern coming into the league that they never let him play in an athletic way. They've kind of just relegated him to a 3-point shooter. And he's really good at that. And he is an offensive problem. But
yeah, because he used to drive and shit. And
yeah, in high school, he was a demon. But they just couldn't risk that style of play in the NBA. And it has extended his career. And it has made it so that he is a really good starting player for a championship team. Like they won chips with him. But
yeah.
That being said, I believe he was injured that series, if I'm remembering correctly.
He might have been.
I think he might have been injured in the finals.
Well, I'll tell you what, an injury is much better for your NBA career than gambling, and they learned that the hard way in that family.
Yeah. He had a much better career than his brother. Give him that.
At least he wasn't gambling on whether he was playing or not. But anyway, Johnny, the first game of the week, the one we flip-flopped on, that I flip-flopped on, Nuggets at the Lakers. I know you were watching that as we were going live there. Lakers won that one, 120-108. The Nuggets came back a little bit now. You know, they were down by a lot more earlier.
The Lakers were up like 30 at one point.
Yeah, Lakers scored a season-high 46 points for them in the first quarter. Doncic scored 21 of those points and never looked back from there. They led by 28 points after 3. Luka had 31, 9 rebounds, 7 assists in only 3 quarters. Didn't play the fourth quarter, rested. And now Luka also has scored 30 points 200 times in his career and 8 times in 16 games with the Lakers. Austin Reeves, otherwise known as AR, had 22 points, 8 assists, and Jokic, Murray, James, and Rui did not play in that game. But yeah, that's what I would expect based off those injuries. I am Pickett.
Yep, that's how it goes.
But yeah, so you got that one right, Johnny. I got that one wrong. But then we had Bucks at Lakers. Day after that, we flipped. This time I said I can't pick the Lakers or against the Lakers twice in 1 week. So I picked them. You picked the Bucks. Bucks won 118-89. Giannis scored 28 points, helping the Bucks beat a shorthanded Lakers team. Lakers without top 4 scorers that game, which I did not know when we picked, by the way. Luka, AR, LeBron, Rui did not play. Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt also were out in that game. But the biggest thing from this game, Bronny James. Bronny James had a career-high 17 points. So, Johnny, I ask you, is the prodigal son, is he NBA ready right now?
He needs a little more time, but, I mean, let's talk about how he actually just dropped, 39 in a G League game the other day? Yeah, he's, he's as good a value as you can possibly get for the 57th pick of the draft. And I think a lot of people forgot that preceding his draft, he had a cardiac arrest episode at USC.
They never
had to play back into shape. And yeah, I just think the guy he's 20 years old, has a really great defensive instinct, and if he just learns to play the point better, yeah, he could be a great, not great, I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar, but he could be a really solid NBA point guard if he just has to be able to play it better. He played shooting guard his whole career. So if he can play point guard because he's only 6'2", then we might be getting somewhere. Yeah. NBA ready, as a low rotation bench player, sure, but
I think they got to at least bring him up for the playoffs.
But he won't get actual playoff minutes. He would only get garbage time minutes.
That's experience, though, being in that environment, that fine. Situation. Seeing his dad locked in, because his dad goes different for the playoffs. which he knows.
He's so young.
Yeah, no, he is.
Like it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as I feel like every take on Bronny, it's been said a million times. But I mean, as far as the 57th pick of the draft, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good as far as if his name wasn't Bronny James, we would be like, yeah, that's not bad, and we wouldn't even talk about it. But
yeah, and I mean, it's not like the top 10 picks from the first round are blowing us out the water either with stats. So it's what I'm saying. It's
exactly.
Yeah. But no, yeah, and people forget that. Like, this dude almost died. Like, he literally almost died less than 2 years ago. So it's a miracle that he's even playing basketball still, let alone the fact that they're shit on him for being the 57th pick, whatever it was. And honestly, 57th pick is the highest. That's the highest upside you're ever going to get in a second round pick like that.
Let's get back to what's really important here. I was right about that game too. What's really important.
You were right about that game too, yeah. You were correct. You were correct. Giannis carried him on his
big Greek back.
His big Greek back. Yep, his big Greek back.
Oh man.
We're gonna make merch with the hoodies, and on the back they say
big Greek back. My big Greek back. My big fat Greek back. That's what it's gotta be.
I'm not
big fat Greek.
I'm not
my big fat Greek wedding? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay.
So it's my big fat Greek back. Walk around. Not bad.
Oh my God. Not bad. Third game, which I was correct about. Give it to me. Yes. My only game of the
Clippers.
Week. My only game of the week. Grizzlies at the Clippers on last Friday there. Clippers won 128-108. James Harden scored 30. Leonard added 23 points, 10 rebounds. Clippers were without Tyronn Lue. I didn't know this. Did you know this, Johnny? He said back pain. Tyronn Lue has not coached for 5 out of the last 7 games.
Interesting. No, I haven't heard about Ty Lue's back pain.
No, yeah. A lot of back pain. But they improved, though, to 4-1 under assistant coach Brian Shaw. Could there be a coaching controversy?
No.
No, not at all. Ja Morant.
Good job, Clips.
Ja Morant missed his 4th straight game. That game, left hamstring injury. Grizzlies 15-13 without Ja, 28-15 with him. Clearly a different team. The Clippers trailed by 6 at halftime, but opened the second half in a 19-5 run. Take the lead for good. Clippers 3-0 against the Grizzlies, and they've won 6 straight against the Grizzlies. Norman Powell watch. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. It was all right.
Fine.
It was all right. Do better, Norman Powell. Do better.
It's not what I expected you at this point.
You're supposed to carry us.
You're a first-team All-NBA guy. You're an MVP contender. I need you to be doing much better than that.
4th game, which you were correct. Actually, we were both wrong on this one. We were both wrong. Surprisingly, both picked the Rockets. I think it's because of the injuries. The injuries is why. And the injuries didn't matter. Nuggets won 116-111, snapping a 9-game Rockets win streak. Murray had 39. He was back. Jokic was out. Michael Porter added 17 points. And Murray had 17 of those in the third quarter as well. Had a hot third quarter. Denver outscored the Rockets 39-22 in the third quarter to take a 96-79 lead, which was cut down from 109-100 to 110-107 with a minute and a half to go. But Christian Brown sealed it with some free throws. You know the rest.
Denver switched it.
Denver
it up.
2.
Good job.
Denver 2-2. I talked to him on the phone the other day, and he said, hey, man, listen, I know that we go way back from my Kansas days, but I would appreciate it if when you address me to the people, you just use my real name. So, Brown is now Brown. Shy is now Shea.
Brown
what
James.
It is. I had to hop on the group call, and they said, man, we understand what you got to do, but please just pronounce it right. So, yeah, it's Brown now, guys. It's Brown now. But Jokic didn't play. Denver's 2-2 without Jokic, by the way. Not bad.
Yeah, I guess. Jokic actually sucks, maybe? Is Jokic terrible?
They don't need him.
It's like the people that used to be like, actually, the Grizzlies play better without Ja. Ja actually a liability? Is Ja actually making the team worse?
Nah, it's because the whole game plan is different without him there.
Yeah. It's like, okay, whatever, man.
Then game number 5, the game where you sealed the deal, where you really sealed the deal and stretched that lead there. Thunder at the Clippers. Again, I said Norman Powell. I got to pick him. Now, it was close. Yeah. Thunder only won 103-101. That being said, they won despite missing Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, and as well as the fact that Shea shot a season-low 24% from the field. 7 of 29. Clippers had the ball at the end, but Harden, he fumbled it. He fumbled the ball, fumbled the rock. He held it too late in the shot clock, threw a pass to Leonard. Leonard had to do a wild turnaround shot, throw it up. Clock expired. End of the game. And Harden shot 4 of 14 and actually had 6 turnovers in that game. This keeps on this trajectory. He might be number 1 by the end of the career there for turnovers. Thunder 4-0 versus Clippers this season, and Aaron Wiggins was the Thunder's second leading scorer, 19 points. Norman Powell, watch, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 fouls in 31 minutes. My man had as many fouls as he had rebounds and assists combined, and had half as many fouls as points. It's rough. It's rough. But Johnny, you know what time it is. You won. So
talk. Are you gonna start the clock on me?
It's time to talk that talk. I'm gonna give it to you right now.
Seconds.
Let me get it over to you so the people only see your pretty face.
Okay, thank you.
Tell them what they got to hear.
Are you gonna give me a countdown?
On 3, 2, 1.
So I'm driving the other day, folks, and I hear I got my Apple Music your station playing, and it'll play through songs it knows I like and then throw in some stuff it thinks I like. This group comes on, this band called the Highwaymen. Now I feel like a moron for never having heard of the Highwaymen. I don't know if you people have. This is what this is, okay? Listen. It's Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, and Waylon Jennings all made a group together. I never had heard of this. And the song Highwayman comes on by them, so it's their self-titled song. This is truly one of the best songs I've ever heard. I've been diving into this group's discography. They've only made 3 albums, and it's amazing. If you like old school country music, you gotta check this shit out if you haven't done it before. I'd never heard of it, and I feel like a music moron for not knowing about this. This shit is crazy, okay? You need to look at this shit, okay? Highwaymen, check out the first one, Highwayman. The second one is American Remains, 2 songs. Check it out.
Bro, that was mad random. You started I did not see that going there, but check it out. Highwaymen. Only thing I could think of when you said Highwaymen, I thought and the men down under.
Oh no, that's the Men at Work. And I do like that song a lot. I do really love that song.
Dude, that song's a vibe. I'll put that on repeat sometimes when I'm working.
The flute is so sick in that song.
Oh, so good. Oh, man.
Yeah. I actually rock with that song a lot.
That was a beautiful speech, and
Thank you.
I'm sure that the Highwaymen can credit some of their future streams to you and your speech here.
It's just Willie Nelson now. The rest of them are dead.
Well, they still have the group with the old music, though.
Well, yeah, the music's on there, but I'm just saying that the only person that's going to even get that money is Willie Nelson.
I'm sure Willie's watching.
Yeah. Thanks, Willie.
But Johnny, it's time for King of the Court. It is now time for King of the Court, where we determine which couch coach is crowned King of the Court through weekly picks of the biggest games in the week ahead. You realize, Ready. Johnny, I didn't say 5 this time, because if you noticed, 6. We got 6. There was too many. There was too many good games to choose from. So I had to go with 6. So game number 1, Johnny. Game number 1, we have the Grizzlies at Thunder tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Who you got?
We're on Thunder.
You going Thunder?
I'm not overthinking it. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going Thunder
Best
as well.
record in the league. We're not overthinking it.
I'm going Thunder as well, and we're not entirely sure Ja's playing just yet. So, I'm going Thunder. Game number 2, Cavs, and this will be an interesting game. We haven't had the Pistons yet on this. Cavs at the Pistons Friday at 7 o'clock. Who you got?
It's a tough one because the Cavs have been slipping as of late. You've seen they've been on a bit of a streak. They haven't been playing great.
Yeah. No longer the best record in the league.
It makes me want to fade them. I know they're the better team, but I also want to make this segment interesting. And I did just do a little bit. I did a healthy amount of Cade glazing earlier, and I know you're going to pick the Cavs, so I'm going to pick the Pistons and do a little more Cade glazing. Hopefully, we're going Detroit Pistons and Cade Cunningham, securing their seed.
You just tried to do some reverse psychology on me, because if I was going to pick the Pistons, now you made me not want to.
No, I knew you weren't going to. That's kind of why I picked the Cavs. It's because I was like, we want to make this that's why I picked the Pistons. Because I knew you were going to pick the Cavs.
I was thinking about it.
You're a Donnie man.
You didn't even give me a chance to think. Nah, I
know what you're going to pick.
I gotta go Cavs with this one because, as you'll see, it gets a little tough to pick the Cavs later.
Yeah.
But I gotta go with the Cavs. I wouldn't call myself a Donnie Glazer, but
what are you fucking talking about? You're not a Donnie Glazer.
I'm his biggest fan. I might have 2, 3, 4 of his jerseys.
Exactly.
Game number 3.
I'm not a Glazer. I'm just his biggest fan.
I only cried for about a half hour when he
cried when they traded him.
Bro, the whole world knows. It was public. The whole is on the story, bro. I was so sad.
Yeah, that's true. No, you owned it.
I was contemplating what life was at this point in time because I went from a team.
Well, honestly, it's not embarrassing crying when they traded Donnie. What is embarrassing is crying when they traded Rudy Gobert. That's embarrassing.
Because at that point it was like, we don't have anything left.
It's all over. The team I loved.
We're done. I was like, man. Yeah, so I'm going Donnie with that one. But same night, an hour later, we're going to have to put the multicast on. Knicks at the Bucks. Keep in mind, no Dame. Knicks at the Bucks.
Likely no Brunson.
Who you got?
We are going to go with the New York Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go New York, go New York, go. Even though I just watched them get dusted by the Clippers, they've been on a little bit of a backslide while mixing Brunson. They went on a couple of games playing pretty good without him. Recently, not as much, but I think the Bucks are going to be reeling, and I think Giannis's big Greek back is just not going to be enough that game.
Okay. Well, I think he bows that big Greek back. I think that Giannis has to make a statement. In one of the first games without Dame, he's got to come out and he's got to show I'm that guy still. And I also think that it's going to open the floor for Kuzma. I think we're going to see a spike in Kuzma's scoring. I think Kuzma is we like this word a lot on this show. I think he's a fringe all-star player when he has the opportunity in what they call in the NFL target share. I don't know what they call that in the NBA. But,
well, I think, yeah.
Usage rate.
Usage, yeah.
Usage rate. That just sounds bad. Like, usage, like, just using these players. It's like they're slaves, bro, just using these players.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
I think...
Moving on.
The NBA's not racist. They changed the name of the owners to governors. How dare you?
They can't be racist. It's a bunch of white men that are in charge of all these black people. No.
Yeah. But they're governors. They're not owners.
Oh, you're right. They don't own them. They govern them. That's better.
Of course.
That's much better.
Hey, what did they call the leaders of slave colonies in America? I'm just curious.
Massa?
They call them governors.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
The leaders of the colonies, of the slave colonies, were called governors.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Game number 4, Saturday, 8 o'clock. We have the Lakers at the Grizzlies. Now, this one be interesting. Lakers been slipping lately. But there's always been a little bit of an interesting battle with these two teams. No Dylan Brooks, but, there's still a little heat when LeBron plays Memphis every now and then. Who you got, Johnny?
La Lakers.
Yeah, I got the Hookah Luka Lakers. Hookah Luka Lakers.
Yeah. LeBron.
LeBron James.
LeBron.
Game number 5, and this is where it gets tough for me to glaze Donnie. Clippers at the Cavs. Sunday at 3:30. I got to make a decision on who I'm going to glaze more here.
I was trying to think of what we're talking about when you said it's going to be hard for us to pick the Cavs. I was like, do the Cavs play the Thunder again or something? Like, what am I missing? The Cavs are going to play. It's hard to pick.
You know,
All right, I'm going Cavs. Going Cavs. Let's go. Fading the Clips.
Listen, even if I fade the Clips, I can't fade Norman Powell.
Can't fade Norman Powell. Not with 9 points, 5 assists, baby. Can't do
four
it.
Four fouls. Listen,
Ooh,
I think he's got to come back this game. If anything, to prove me right as one of his biggest believers, maybe his only believer. I don't know if I've heard a single person talk about Norman Powell all season aside from me. Aside from when
I have.
Aside from when they talked
people
about him not going to the All-Star game.
They pretended they really love caring about. They pretend they love Norman Powell or really care about him because it was a chance to take a shot at LeBron.
I'm real though, because where they at? I'm still here, Norm.
Yeah, right. You love Norman Powell. That's real. That's
still here, Norm.
Genuine human love.
And on
your Norman Powell.
On your name, I got you taking down my favorite player.
Wow.
Give me the Clips. Give me the Clips. Light the beam. No.
If he pulls it off, is Norman Powell officially your favorite player?
Listen, I might have to get a couple of his jerseys.
Okay.
Maybe.
Light the beam. I do like saying light the beam for teams that aren't the Kings.
Only Sacramento, but it's just funny to say.
Oh, that's good.
Our last game. And I had to add this one because these two teams have the same exact record, and you could argue that they're both trying to cement themselves and stay out of the play-in. Pistons at the Timberwolves. Sunday, 7 o'clock. Cade Cunningham versus the abortionist.
Now, it is a lot bigger of a game for the Timberwolves because effectively, I mean, there's about like 9 or 10 games left in the NBA season. So for most teams, so the Pistons are like 7 games out of the play-in, so they have to really backslide to fall into the play-in. So it's not as big of a game for them. Whereas the Timberwolves are in the West, which is 2 to 10, separated by like 3 games.
It's crazy.
So therefore, Timberwolves and the abortionist are winning that one.
Okay.
Because of the urgency.
The sense of urgency. Okay. Let me see here.
Even though I like to cheer for the Paradox, I do. You know, Cade Cunningham, a.k.a. the Paradox, you like to, but it's the abortionist all the way. Much better nickname than Ant-Man.
You know, this game's a toss-up for me. I like Cade. I like Anthony. I like Rudy. So for any other reason, I'm going to go with the Timberwolves because we have 1, 2, 3 games in which we didn't pick the same team. So I'm going to guarantee that I get a speech next week.
All right. I like that. You want to just make sure it's an odd number.
It's game theory.
Right. I like it.
I may not win the game, but I'm going to win the war.
Understood.
I'm not going to tie the war.
Not going to tie the war. Is any war? How often does a war end in a tie?
Yeah. Like, what if you just fight for so long, you both just lose so many men that, like, the people at the top are just like, yeah, we're fucking over this. Like,
there's probably some wars that people think like they like that, like they go, oh, this ended in a tie, but like it didn't really end in a tie.
Well, you imagine
like, there was a winner
back in the day when you ended a war, bro. You know how long it took for people to find out that war was over. You got motherfuckers. You got motherfuckers over here, hundreds of miles away, that have been fighting for weeks after the war ended.
That's the Battle of New Orleans. That one. That's the one where Andrew Jackson holds up with like
Napoleon?
300 men. It was against the British in the War of 1812. But he holds up in the Bay of New Orleans with like 200 men and repels an army of a few thousand and wins the battle. But the war was over already. They just hadn't gotten word of it yet. So it's like one of the craziest feats in modern or like American war history. Is like just Andrew Jackson was a piece of shit, but he was a great general. The dude knew how to be a general.
I feel like those two kind of go hand in hand sometimes.
They kind of do. Well, Eisenhower was a good guy, you know.
Yeah, I just feel like eventually when you send so many men into battle, you gotta eventually it's gotta take a toll on you as a person.
Yeah, Patton was a shithead. Patton was a piece of shit. So it just depends.
Could you imagine if Louisiana was British instead of French?
If Louisiana was British instead of French, I mean, yeah, it'd be.
We wouldn't have beignets.
We wouldn't have beignets. I guess not.
We wouldn't have Mardi Gras.
Yeah, we wouldn't have any of it.
Yeah.
But fortunately, that's not how they shook out.
Maybe having tea and crumpets.
All right.
Maybe having tea and crumpets. Oh boy. You know what, Johnny? We're gonna wrap up with one question that the people want to know.
Okay.
One question. We're gonna find a good one here. Let's see. You know what? We'll give some advice to some people that might have some questions about this. Johnny, the people want to know: is it ever okay to date a friend's ex?
I mean, it's sometimes but most of the time,
Wow,
no.
you're a bad friend. No,
Most of the time, it's frowned upon, but sometimes it's fine.
Okay, paint the picture for me.
Like, I think if your friend genuinely doesn't care, like if your friend's like, I really don't give a shit, man. Like, for example, you had an ex that a friend of ours dated that.
Who? Oh,
I think at that point you didn't really care at all.
No,
I don't think you felt any type of way about it. So it's like sometimes it's fine, but for the most part, like if you care about your friend, like you know, if you care about your friend, if you're actually friends with them, you know whether it's okay to do it or not. You know what I mean? Like, use your best judgment, and at the end of the day, like if you really want to date your friend's ex, like you can. You're just gonna lose your friend probably. Like, you want to do that, fine, but you just once again we were talking already. Cost benefit analysis right here. You just got to be an adult and make that cost benefit analysis, and depending on where you come out on the other side. Sometimes it's fine though, but I'd say most of the time it's questionable.
Was it good things happen to bad people that we're talking about?
Yes. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a few friends that dated her. I didn't care. I didn't care at all. Although at that time, admittedly, I was like 15. Why would I care?
Right. I mean, yeah, we were in high school, but I just think about
right.
Like, there are certain exes of yours that I'm like,
oh, 100%.
I know are 100% off limits. I wouldn't even have to ask you. There are certain exes of yours that I literally wouldn't have to ask you. That I'm like, there's no shot. That would be messed up. Not gonna do it. So,
I'll set you up with one.
No, I'm good, man. I'm okay.
You have my blessing. Have you ever dated a friend's ex?
No, not like anyone that I was close enough with that I dated a girl in high school who dated someone that I was passively friends with, but not close, not enough that it's it was crossing a line. No, not really.
Okay. Have you ever
dated a friend's ex? No.
Oh,
hold on. Let me rephrase. Hold on. Have I ever dated a friend's ex? No.
No.
Have I been completely and utterly platonic with every single one of my friend's exes? No. No. I have not necessarily been platonic with every single one of my friend's exes, but I have never dated one. But also, if you hook up with a friend's ex, for the most part, you just don't say it. You don't tell anyone. You just hold that down. What are you talking about? If you're not dating, you hold it down. You don't fucking tell anyone.
Yeah, nah, because some dudes crash out over that. Some dudes crash out over that. Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's funny.
Now, what do you think?
So I think I'll lead off with this. I think that there are a lot of people in this world. But I also think that at the end of the day, you're going to like who you're going to like. You're going to love who you're going to love. I don't think that if you truly love somebody, you truly like somebody, want to be with them, that you should let anything external outside of those two people, let that affect the situation. That's what I'll say first. Now, if you really, again, cost-benefit analysis. If you really like this person, because then you got to gauge the friend, right? Like you said, some friends might not care. I don't think it's okay generally.
Your friend is allowed to be mad at you. Like, that's
course.
the thing. It's one of those things where it's like, their feelings are valid. You just have to make the decision of whether or not you care.
Right.
Like,
and for some friends, you might not. For some friends, you might.
Right.
But I also don't think it has to do with just how the friend feels per se. Because even if the friend's okay with it, I might still feel a little weird about it, you know? But
it would have to be, though, that's one of those things where it's like,
what was that relationship like? Like, for example, if they had a great relationship, right? They were together for a long time, then okay, that's a little weird. But like, what if your friend was just a complete piece of shit to this girl? Like, you know what I'm saying, though? You know, because we all got friends that are like complete. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, bro, why do you even talk to women anymore?
There's certain friends of mine that I would go, if a girl would date them, I don't want anything to do with that girl. This guy's a dumbass. I can't. Like, I want nothing to do with this.
No, maybe, but do you ever? But you see it all the time, though, with like. There's people that are together, and you're like, how?
Yeah, there's certain ones. There's a limit. I have an upper limit.
I guess it depends. Like, if it's like, if the dude's like a complete like scumball and like doesn't take showers and like doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he's like just like unsanitary and shit, then I might be like for example, I had an ex one time. She described her ex-boyfriend to me. Dude was like 34. And she was like, yeah, he leaves plates under the bed with food on them. He leaves plates in the sink with food on them. And she just named like 100 things that like, just like disgusting. And I'm just like, what the? Why are you even with him? And at that point, I was like, damn, like, do I really want to be with a girl that would be with a nigga like that?
Yeah, that's the thing. Where it's like, it speaks to a lack of judgment. You know?
Moral of the story, guess who she dated after we broke up?
Exactly. Lack of judgment.
Lack of judgment.
So all I'm saying, so the moral of the story here is, it's technically fine to date your friend's ex, but cost-benefit analysis, you have to determine whether they're allowed to be mad at you if you know. And really, it's more like use your best judgment, boss man, because you know at the end of the day, even if they tell you that they're okay with it, you know in your heart if they actually are.
Bro, yo, if you hit me right now and ask me, I'm like, yeah, bro, it's fine. Damn straight, I'm sitting here like, this motherfucker.
Exactly.
Like, I'd be like, why did he even ask me that?
There's certain, I think there are certain girls that you've dated that if I asked you if I could take a run at them, that you would say yes, but you would hate me for it. That you hate me for it. And I was like, that's what I'm saying, where I'm like, your friend, you should know your friend well enough to know, even if they say yes, that they're lying.
No, 100%. No, so, to that point though, other questions. I have never dated a friend's ex or had relations with a friend's ex.
Ever had any relations with a friend's ex?
I mean, conversational relations. Like,
you're a better man than me.
And I've had friends date my exes, but never at a point or an ex that I truly cared about. To that point, I can't say I've never tried to date a friend's ex. I just never did it.
Never pulled it off.
I never accomplished the mission.
I made an attempt or two.
Nah, I mean, again, you just gotta judge the value. And honestly, I have like 3 friends right now that I wouldn't lose over that. You, of course, a couple other, maybe 4 or 5. Well, then there's some where the lines get blurred, but we'll talk about that off chat.
Of course. But I think the people know.
People know. People know.
They wanted to know, and now they know.
Date your friend's ex if you don't want that friend. If you want that friend, don't date that ex. But
make a pros and cons chart.
Pros and cons chart. I love doing that.
Ross from Friends style.
From who?
Ross from Friends.
That's a white people shit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, I've seen it. I had to.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the pros and cons chart?
Yeah.
He does? Yeah.
Of course.
I haven't even seen that much of Friends. I've seen like maybe 10, 20 total episodes, but I've seen that episode. I've seen the one with the pros and cons.
Once I watched Curb, none of the shows compare anymore.
No, everything. Friends is a bad show. It's not a good show.
Really?
Like, don't get me wrong.
It's critically acclaimed.
No, it's just popular. It's not critically acclaimed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like sitcom slop. It's not.
Okay, so it's top of the charts, but it's not for the culture.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
And with that, we're gonna wrap it up with that analogy right there. But thank you for joining us for another episode of Couch Coach the Podcast, featuring an all-star staff of the best to never do it. Remember, without a couch, you're just a coach. Without a coach, it's just a couch. With both, you're one of us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you got some shit to say, leave a comment. It's Jonny, it's Coogii, your favorite couch coaches. We'll see you guys next week.
And tell him happy birthday. Come on, people.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
I'm so glad you know that, because honestly,
of course,
most white people, bro. Listen, at black birthday parties, we sing both. We go happy birthday, and then it finishes, and you go happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey.
Happy birthday. Yeah.